house at the edge of the woods. Something wasn't right about the house at the edge of the woods. Everyone in the small town of Willow Creek knew it. Kids would run wide circles around it, and adults avoided even mentioning it in conversations. But no one knew exactly why. The house had stood empty for years, its paint peeling and windows broken. Birds nested in its gutters, and weeds crept along the path that once led to the front door. Mark knew all of this. He'd heard the stories, just like everyone else. Yet, on a gray November morning, he walked straight up to the house, a key clutched in his hand. He had bought it for a steal. A fantastic opportunity, the real estate agent had called it, flashing a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. Mark, recently divorced and desperate for a fresh start, didn't ask any more questions. He wasn't thinking about the eerie quiet of the house or the odd atmosphere that seemed to cling to it. He was thinking about having a place of his own, somewhere to rebuild his life. But the house had other plans. The first evening was uneventful. Mark inflated an air mattress and unpacked a small suitcase of clothes and books. The electricity hadn't been turned on yet, so he lit a few candles and sat in the bare, gray-walled living room, sipping coffee from a thermos. Outside, the wind howled, a typical November night. But as he crawled into bed, he heard something else. A soft, rhythmic sound. Knock, knock, knock. He got up and listened. It seemed to come from the front door, but when he checked, no one was there. Shaking his head, he went back to bed, convincing himself it was just the wind. But the sound didn't stop. It seemed to move, shifting from the attic to the basement and back again. By dawn, Mark finally fell into an uneasy sleep, exhausted. The next day, Mark set to work cleaning up the house. Dust and debris covered every surface. In the attic, he found an old wardrobe, massive and ornate, with intricate carvings on its doors. The doors were shut tight, and there was no key to be found. He tugged at the handles, but they wouldn't budge. Frustrated, he moved on to cleaning the rest of the house, but the wardrobe lingered in his mind. Every time he went back upstairs, it felt as though the wardrobe was watching him, waiting. That night, he dreamed about it. In his dream, the doors were open, and a thick, black mist poured out. Shapes moved within the mist, their voices whispering his name. Mark, Mark. He woke up drenched in sweat, a chilling feeling creeping down his spine. The house felt alive, as if it were aware of him now. The following day, Mark tried to brush it off. Maybe he was imagining things. Maybe it was just an old house settling. But deep down, he knew better. When he went back to the attic, the wardrobe looked different. One door was slightly ajar. A cold draft seeped out, making him shiver. He stepped back, deciding it was time to get answers. That afternoon, Mark walked into town and stopped by the local diner. Over coffee, he asked the owner, an elderly man named Joe, about the house. Joe's expression darkened. "You bought that place?" he asked in a low voice. "Yes," Mark replied. "Why? What's wrong with it?" Joe hesitated before answering. The last owner disappeared. Same with the one before that. People say the house is hungry. Hungry. Joe nodded but wouldn't say more. He simply waved Mark off with a look that said, Don't go back. That evening, Mark decided he couldn't ignore it any longer. Armed with a crowbar, he climbed the creaky stairs to the attic. The air was colder than before, and every creak of the floorboards felt like a warning. He jammed the crowbar into the wardrobe's door and pried it open with a loud crack. But the wardrobe was empty. Apart from deep scratches gouged into the wood, there was nothing unusual inside. Relieved but confused, Mark turned to leave, until he felt it. A cold breath against the back of his neck. "You shouldn't have opened it," whispered a voice, so close it made his skin crawl. He spun around, but no one was there. The room was empty. Except now, the wardrobe doors were wide open, and from the darkness inside, something began to emerge. A hand, skeletal and pale. Then a face, blurry and shifting, as if it wasn't fully in this world yet. Mark froze, paralyzed with fear. "You belong to us now," the voice hissed, and the shadowy figure reached out for him. The next morning, the house was silent. Mark's car was still parked in the driveway, but no one had seen him leave. The townsfolk didn't talk about it. They never did. Joe closed the diner early that day, the unease in the air heavier than usual. It felt as though Willow Creek had grown just a little darker. The house at the edge of the woods stood empty again, waiting for its next occupant. Because the house was always hungry, and it always got what it wanted.